First question is from Mega the Johnny, says, can you explain what is a tick throw? Ah, yes, the tick throw question. Tick throw. Yeah, some people don't know what tick throw is. Tick throw is a very old school thing. It's been existing since probably Street Fighter 2. Except in Street Fighter 2, it's way more cheap because there's no tech throws. But a tick throw is basically hitting your opponent with a quick attack and then throwing them right after. Like, this is a tick throw. Like, tap throw, basically. It's way more effective if you find a button that, when you hit them, there's so little pushback that you're still able to throw. So, for example, Ryu standing light punch. If I press it, I don't even move, and I press throw, I'm still in range. I think that's the most effective. Like, crouching light punch is not as effective because I go crouching light punch and he's already out, which means I have to walk forward a little bit, which means it's gonna take longer. Now, the reason why tick throws are good is because it forces your opponent to have to deal with it. He has to either tech it, he's got to jump, you know, but he doesn't have time to press a button back. Like, he can't just hit punch me back after I press a light button like this. Because I'm like +2 with Ryu. Most light attacks are plus. He can't walk back, you know, because he won't be fast enough to dodge the throw. So he either has to jump, tech the throw, right, or get thrown. So it's kind of like a good pressure way. Because, you know, it's a lot harder to just walk up to your opponent in a match and try to throw him. Usually you'll get swatted in the face. If you jump on your opponent like this, and then throw them, I would still consider that a tick throw, because it's the same situation where you're so insanely plus that the opponent can't walk backwards, he can't press a button back, he has to tech the throw. And what makes this really scary is that, okay, why don't they just tech the throw? Well, then that's when shimmies come in, right? And you can do your light attack, and instead of pressing throw right away, you step back slightly, and then you shimmy them, you know? So tick throws is just it's a very strong pressure tool. It makes your opponent really uncomfortable, and yeah, it forces them to tech. It forces and it gives you information. It lets you know, hey, my opponent likes to mash tech, or he likes to delay tech, or he doesn't like the tech at all. He gets thrown a lot, right? It gives you information, and it's definitely a really good pressure tool. So that is tick throws. Next question is from Nashadbi. Thanks. It says, how to practice whiff punishing and being consistent with it. Whiff punishing. Whiff punishing. Juicebox made a really good video on this on YouTube. You should check it out. Just go YouTube Juicebox Footsies, and you'll find a good video that explains this. But whiff punishing, like, the basis of it is that, you know, you see the opponent press a button, and then the guy presses a button right after, and then you punish it. The thing is that you have to understand that the buttons in this game are so fast that most of the time you're not reacting to it, you're anticipating it, right? So you're going to assume they're going to press the button, and then you press it right after. Because most of the time it's not too punishing for Ryu to, like, stick out crouching medium punches and just assume. Like, for example, Ken's doing a standing heavy kick, right? So Ken players like to do standing heavy kick when they're in that standing heavy kick range, right? And you can assume, as a Ryu player, that when you walk in that range, he's gonna press it. If he's just mindlessly pressing it, then whiff punishing's easy, right? But if you're a Ryu player, you would assume that, hey, if I walk just a little bit closer like this, he's gonna press it. So you walk forward, walk back, and you just press crouching medium punch. It doesn't matter if you press it or not, you're relatively safe. And when you press crouching medium punch, I could buffer into something like EX Fireball or EX Donkey Kick, right? So I'll just show what that looks like. Like, that's a successful whiff punish, you know? So you understand, like, the basic part of it, right? The thing is, you gotta remember that, like, a lot of pro players aren't magically, like, godlike reactions. You know, there's a lot of old players that are playing, and they can't react to shit, okay? And a lot of them are not using measuring tape. A lot of it is just, like, you play for so long, and you know your opponent's tendencies, and you anticipate, right? And if you pay attention to a lot of matches, you'll see them throwing out buttons all the time, anticipating. They're not guessing right all the time. Maybe only 10% of the time. It's just that the reward you get for landing one whiff punish is so huge that it's worth it. And at the same time, your opponent is playing more cautious because they're seeing this Ryu player going like this. He's like, hey, I gotta be careful pressing my standing heavy kick because if I do, I'm gonna bounce off the damn wall, right? Now for practicing it, it's really simple. All you gotta do, even if you don't know what your character's whiff punish button is, just try it out yourself, right? So all you do is go to record and get the character that you want to learn to whiff punish to just jump straight up. And as soon as they land, press the button that you want to learn to whiff punish and get them to crouch block right after. And then now it's really easy to time it. So you know right when he lands, he's going to press the button, right? And then just start pressing buttons. See what works. See what's easy. You know? Maybe I won't make him block that long. That's a little too long. Like that. That's good enough. So I'll try out a bunch of different buttons here. Standing hard punch seems a little too slow. Standing medium looks good. Nice fast button. Okay, that doesn't work. Right? And then you just work it out. You just figure it out. And you know when he's gonna time it because holy shit. Well, at least you should know, right? There we go. Right? Try crouching medium kick. Doesn't seem to work, right? And you just check which button works. Standing leg kick work? Right? Seems to work. So, yeah, that's the easy way to practice it. And like I said, to bait it is to literally just walk in the range, or know the spacing of the button you're trying to whiff punish and stand outside of it, right? And the way to tempt the opponent to want to press it, like if you're playing against inexperienced players, you just literally just stand outside the range, right? If Ken walks a little bit forward, you walk a little bit back, and you keep that spacing. But if he's a good player who understands, hey, I'm out of range, I shouldn't press that button, then you start tempting him by walking forward. And that's why in high-level play, you see players constantly walk forward and back, right? Now, if you're in bronze or silver or gold, even platinum players, you're not going to want to, you don't really need to do the forward back that often because players are still inexperienced enough where they're just going to throw their favorite buttons out. So it's mostly about your spacing, right? Just pay attention to where you're standing and then whiff punish accordingly. But like I said, a lot of it, 90% of the time, it's anticipation and you're not actually reacting to it. Next question is, how do I deal... Oh, it's from Pedro. It says, how do I deal with Laura's pressure? I never know when her dashes are fake or not. Oh boy. I knew this question was going to happen eventually. Fuck, I don't even have an answer for this question. Okay, I'll try to answer it. Let's switch to Laura. The thing is, nobody knows. But let's try to answer it anyways. The first thing we should talk about here about Laura's dash pressure is that when is it unsafe for her? It is always unsafe when she cancels a normal into her command dash. It is always unsafe. The only time it's not, I believe, is when she has V-Trigger 1 and she does EX Fireball, canceling the command dash. I think that, theoretically, is safe. Unless you mash, like, an invincible move. But it's so quick, like, good luck doing that. So we'll just start with the basics on Laura's command dash. Okay, so... For example, medium punch into command dash block, right? So when she does this, she's -2. Okay? And that's just her dashing. Now she has to press a button. So if she has to press like another medium punch, or she has to do a command grab, she's gonna be like -7, right? Another thing too is that if she tries to press something and you're waiting for it, you're gonna get a nice juicy counter hit, and then you can do some fat damage, right? So let me go medium punch into command grab. Or like EX donkey kick or something. Okay, so that means that the reason Laura gets away with it on you is because you're not anticipating it, right? You're so worried and preoccupied by other things about her just throwing you straight up, her meaties, right? Shimmies, the jumping. It's tough to play against these kind of characters, especially in an online environment, because you have so many things to look out for. But it's the exact same concept as Ken's run cancels. Every time Ken cancels something to a run, it is actually unsafe. If he hits you with it, it means you weren't ready for it, right? And yeah, the opportunity is there. It's the same thing when Rishi cancels a normal into his EX Fireball. Same thing. There's a gap there. You just didn't anticipate it. So when you play against Laura players, you need to remind yourself at the beginning of the match, hey, I need to look out for these fake strings that lead into these command dashes. And you also need to know what is the best way to punish it when it does happen. You need to be ready and not just scramble and press one jab and that's it. So you need to sit in training mode and find out, hey, first off, what is my combo I'm going to do? Well, if I'm playing Ryu, you know, I'm going to do whatever is easy for you, right? Maybe it might be, what's it called? Standing medium punch into crouching medium kick into EX passive. So now you're ready, and then you look for it in matches. And then as you play your matches, you're going to become more accustomed to what she's canceling. Because, you know, she doesn't have to do standing medium punch, right? She can cancel into pretty much anything. She can go like from crouching medium kick. Can she go crouching medium? Wait, no. She can go... Yeah. Go crouching medium kick, crouching medium punch. She might do a couple block streams on you and then mix it up, right? That's how it balances it in the way that Laura can get away with it. Because if she can only cancel from one button, it'd be super easy to get away with it, but she can't, right? And yeah, you just be more patient, you sit and wait. Now, to deal with Laura's pressure in general, you have to kind of... It's one of those matchups where you do need to know the Laura matchup. You know, even I don't know the Laura matchup, and I need to... If I was playing this game more seriously, I would literally just sit down and learn all of her buttons, what's minus, what's plus. For example, I see a lot of Laura players do like standing heavy punch. Right? This is -2. And you know it's your turn. If she ever does this button, it's over. It's your turn, right? Or you see Laura players like they do a screen into Fireball, for example. Like they do this shit, right? Just mimic it, right? Go into training mode, get them to do it, and see. Like, she's -5 after this, so super fake. Super fake. It's your turn. Her pressure ends, right? So, like, it's really important to just, you know, work it out. If she does EX, for example, you're like, okay, what about EX? You check EX. Okay, it's real. She's +3. So what do I have to do against this? Well, V reversal, right? You need the V reversal. So, like, she has to use a meter, so she can't do it all the time. That's what balances it out. So, yeah, just learn your matchups and know that her command dash is always fake. No matter what, she is minus every time. No matter what button. The only difference, like I said, is when she has V-trigger. And I don't really understand how it works, actually. Yeah, like that. She is... Whew! How are you supposed to react to that? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, she gets in for free. So, that's V-trigger. But once again, she's got to use meter. From Darian Knight says, hey Vesper, I wanted to know how to properly do a shimmy. For some reason, I feel like after my opponent whiffs the grab, they recover way too fast for me to punish them after the whiff. They either block quickly or throw a light punch out to stop me from punishing. To give additional context, I'm a super platinum and I main Ryu and Akuma. So I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the basics, hope that can help. The two easiest ways to set it up is after a knockdown or after a close light attack, right? So like, if he's trying to do it in neutral, let's say you're playing neutral with somebody and you're like walking forward, walking back. That's like the high level shimmy, alright? Doing this is troublesome in platinum rank because players don't respect each other enough and they just flail out buttons. In order to get into the point where you can walk in and walk out in neutral like that, you can only do that when your opponent is in the corner, when he's low on life, when he's really scared, right? When you have your V-trigger up, you know? Just understand that there's different paces of the game. You can't just start the match and then start, you know, going crazy and trying to do shimmies. It doesn't work that way. Your opponent has to be preoccupied with something, right? So you can get in and do that kind of stuff, you know? If you land like 2 crush counters of this in a row, then hell yeah, they're gonna be scared to press the button. And that's when you can squeeze out these shit. But let's start with the most basic one. Is simply the tick into it. So the simplest one would be you knock the opponent down. They're getting up, and you do standing leg kick with Akuma. Now look how close you are with Akuma. I don't even think Akuma moved backwards. It looked like he moved forward. It's insane. This Capcom, fix this character. Anyways, he's so close. There is no way your opponent is gonna know if you're gonna throw or not. He literally has to guess. Okay? He's got to delay tech, or he's got to take the throw. It's just there's no way. You're right up to him. So all you gotta do with Akuma's back walk speed is so fast is just simply walk out of throw range. Just measure how far back you have to go. Like, is this enough? Yes. So I notice when people shimmy, they overdo it. They go like this. Like, don't go this far. Just out of throw range. That's all you gotta do. The opponent is not gonna walk forward after you hit him with a light attack, okay? You just need to walk just enough so you're out, okay? Or out his throw range, more specifically. Because grappling characters will have more throw range. So walk a tiny bit out, and then see what he does. And then, if you're a beginner, you can just confirm it. So all you gotta do is do this. For Akuma standing leg kick, medium kick. Just press medium kick. And if you notice it hit, then confirm it, right? So I could just put it to random and go like this. Like, this is hard to explain because what's gonna happen is when you walk backwards and you press medium kick, you're going to have a moment to see him whiff the throw. That's your confirm, seeing his arm come out. And that'll give you more than enough time to be like, this is gonna hit for sure. I'm going to complete the combo. Okay? That's like the easiest way to confirm the shimmy. It helps out too if your character has like 2 hits, or if they have a really long confirm like Akuma's standing medium kick. But the real way you do it is you literally just you tick him, you walk back, and you wait. And if he does press the throw, then you press the button and do it. So yeah, sweep, tick, walk back, not too much, and sit and wait. If you see him press the throw, boom, do it. Now, the other way of doing the shimmy, once you get into, like I said, pressuring people, is you start to, you go light, and then you walk forward and walk back. Like this. That's the higher level part, but like I said, since the guy's in Platinum rank, it's a lot trickier to do this because players just in this ranking, it's hard to play that tournament level way because everyone's always pressing buttons. Most of the time, frame traps will do the trick, or just literally throwing them will do the trick. But if you notice your opponent is teching throws constantly, that's when you do the shimmy, right? Don't just do the shimmy as like the shimmy's not always gonna work. Like in bronze and gold, I can never get away with the shimmy because players just don't throw. They don't tech throw, right? They always press buttons. So you have to kind of observe how your opponent plays. But once you get into higher ranks like Diamond, then shimmies become a lot more prevalent, especially when your opponent is in the corner. So the biggest opportunities to get away with shimmy is after a jump in, because you can do whatever you want. So you go like this, same concept, right? Or you just throw them. After knocking them down, because you do a meaty, and then you can shimmy them. Or after you pressure them, you walk forward, walk back. And then when you reach the highest level of play, that's when you start respecting each other and you start walking forward, throw. Walking forward, walk back. Walking forward, stop. Right? But it really depends more on your opponent than you. Now, you say you're getting jabbed and thrown. That just tells me that like you're trying to do it from neutral. Right? It means that you can't do it. Just because, like, let's say you're Jay Wong and you go into Platinum rank. You're not going to be able to shimmy people just doing like that. Doesn't matter on you. It matters on the opponent. Shimmy is just a counter to delay teching. That's what it is. A counter. It's not like the strategic neutral plan thing, you know? It's just a counter. So it's only going to work against people that are good at teching throw. So just remember. From a Tentacle, it says, VesperArcade. So a fairly new player here, kind of strange because I've watched the esports way before I actually played the game, but I bought Street Fighter 5 and AE came out, and I started on Jury. Oh boy. And I remember you on stream saying I chose the dark path, which is true. So I'm having fun on Chun-Li, but in general, I really can't define pressure from just hitting someone's block. Advice on pressure and punishing moves I'm unfamiliar with. Pressure is all about opening up your opponent. It's about when you get close, you figure out a way to get through their defense and open them up. So it's basically like, you want to think of pressure as like building blocks and choosing the path depending on how your opponent deals with things. So the very first basic thing when you play a match is you try to throw them. So you throw them. If your throw is successful, keep throwing them. You now know they suck at teching throws. So whenever you get a chance to throw them, throw them. You use tick throws, you know, you jump in, throw them, whatever. But once they tech the throw, that's where Street Fighter begins, and then that's where the mind games happen, right? So now you know he's good at teching throws. So what are your options now, right? Well, your options from there is you start to shimmy them. And if they mash throw or they delay tech, then you open them up, and then they have to adapt to that. Then they have to stop teching throw, and the cycle continues, right? Now, if you try to get close to them and throw them, and you start getting hit by buttons, they're pressing buttons now. Like Ryu's just throwing out a jab, and you're getting swatted in the face. Now you're like, okay, he likes to mash buttons. I need to frame trap him now. And then you start frame trapping him. So you find out your plus buttons, like Chun-Li is like, crouching light punch is +2. Standing medium punch is 5 frames. So it's a frame trap. So you go crouching jab, standing medium punch. If it counter hits him, great. You counter hit him, then you go into B and B and you punish him. If he blocks it, that means he's not mashing buttons. Start throwing him, right? And you keep building it, right? You keep building it, and you keep it. Like, if you're good at someone who's good at pressure, is someone who's good at adapting your offense. So if you're somebody who's studied all this, I know what to do if my opponent likes to tech. I know what to do if my opponent doesn't tech. If he likes to press buttons, if he doesn't press buttons, you basically have your game plan set up. So you're constantly adjusting how you layer your offense, and you can do this all in training mode, right? Have the opponent on guard, see how far you go when you hit some of your buttons, what buttons keep you close, what buttons are plus, which one are minus, and that is one solid way to work on your offense. Keep in mind with a character like Chun-Li, you have a really good neutral, so you're playing a lot of that. But if you knock your opponent down, that's when you start your offense and your pressure. So from your description, you're saying all my opponent's doing is just blocking my buttons. If all your opponent's doing is blocking your buttons, then you need to throw him, right? And if they tech throws, then that means they're doing a response. That means they are lowering their guard to anticipate something, and then you're giving yourself more options to open them up because now they're worried about throws, right? So you have to build it from that. And like I said, if you keep throwing them, then just keep throwing them. You don't have to be fancy. Like, you don't have to throw somebody like 3 times and be like, I'm gonna go for a shimmy. Like, don't do that. Just keep throwing them. Just keep doing it and force them to learn, and then you adapt. Don't adapt before they adapt. Just adapt. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing, right? Like, if your opponent is making a mistake, don't interrupt them, right? That's a common saying. Don't stop them. Don't interrupt them. And that will help you with the bare basics of pressure. This is universal for all characters, right? So